And welcome back to Where Sky Blues Walk. Are we seeing a nastier side of Coventry City? Bully boys against Borough. And once again, we battered and bruised the Baggies. Welcome back. We've got Ben, Jay and Tom fresh back from the Hawthorns. I haven't won there in quite a while, so that was quite sweet. Did Coventry even get out of second gear? And what a weekend in terms of the other results going in our favour as well. Hope you're well. Thanks for your company. 20 minutes of commentary chat with myself and then Sky Blue extra time looking through all the stats and getting to some more details in the game. With these three coming up as well. Plus, we're also talking, are we falling out of love with football as a nation? We'll get these three's view on all of that. We've got our A to Z, which is up to the letter Q this week. Who on earth will we put in there? And we're choosing who would we want if we were staying in the Championship, and let's hope we're not. Who would we want up from League One as a decent away day next season? But let's get straight into it, Ben. Have you noticed a slight change in Coventry's approach to recent games? We're looking a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're just taking it game by game now and sort of imposing ourselves on the opposition, adapting to the way they play and having strong game plans. And it's shown the last two games. I think, as we said the other day, Onyeka has just made a huge difference. And he's that physicality in there. It gives us more balance, more bite, more grit. The amount of times he won the ball back and just lays it off nice and easy. We've got players coming off the bench, Eccles, with aggression, and we're picking up a lot of yellow cards, and there'll be a few more to come. But we've not got a soft underbelly anymore. We're not that. You're going to know you've been in a game when you play us, and that's what we need to do. And I think that'll be enough to get us over the line.
Yeah. Jay, do you agree? Do you like in this new fight you're seeing in the team?
100% is something we were definitely missing. I think we all sort of, again, there was sort of fan rumours that we were in for Gus Hamer, but obviously when you sort of think about it, Onyeka was exactly the player that we needed. And I know Ben especially was waxing lyrical about him, about he's going to be coming and sort of change the tone for us, which is exactly what he's done. He set the precedent of this is how we press, this is how aggressive we are. Matt Graham, I've always been a Matt Graham's fan, and I always think for a slight man, he's very clever at winning the ball back. But I feel like he's just gotten up a level with his sort of his tackling and his aggression as well. And then if you've got Frank in the middle, you've got Matty Grimes, your captain in the middle, setting that tone with the aggression. And then the rest of the team are going to do the same as well. You've got Bobby at the back, who loves a little scrap. You've got Light at the back as well, who loves a little scrap.
Haji in attack.
Yeah, really. And then I just think that sort of showing from the back four, sort of allowing them just to defend and focus on the defending as well. So it's just a perfect sort of level of aggression. As Ben says, we are picking a few more yellow cards up now, which I personally love. Again, there's a sort of a fine line of being aggressive and bullied and sort of getting too far. And I think we found the perfect blend at the moment, really, with Onyeka coming in, and he's really set the tone for the team, which is amazing.
Well, let's take some social media takes on Tom, shall we? Rob says, I think we let them off in the second half, but we equally preserved what we executed so brilliantly in the first. Clean sheet and a goal for Rudy and EMC is so important. 2 great goals. Proper happy with that. Feels like a while since I've left the Hawthorns. Happy. You were there, Tom. Who or what impressed you the most?
I think for me, Rodoni, straight off the bat, I thought he had a really good game against Borough. A lot of fans been on his back, me included, I will say. Thought he was phenomenal again. Scored, in my opinion, goal of the season. To see it live, you didn't see how far out it was. When you watch the replay, it's just unbelievable. And I'm so happy for him as well. He said about Lampard, sent him a message in the morning. And it shows the togetherness as well, which is brilliant. The defence again, I think we found our centre-back pairing, and I think they're working really well together. Lati Bodia for me stood out. I thought he was brilliant once again. Bobby Thomas, perfect. Onyeka, again, I think he has just changed us. I think we just look 10 times better with him in. I mean, Matt Grimes can push forward. He can defend. You saw it for Rodoni's goal as well. He's the one who wins the tackle. No, is it Rodoni's goal or Mason Clark's? No, it was Mason Clark's goal, sorry. He was the one who wins the ball to then give it to Milan, who then plays in the beautiful ball for Mason Clark's finish. But yeah, I think overall we didn't need to get out of second gear. I think West Brom look really poor. I am tipping them to go down at the moment, and it was a very toxic home atmosphere. Away atmosphere, I thought it was one of the loudest of the season. I thought the away fans were phenomenal. So huge fair play to the Sky Blue Army for backing us. 13 cup finals to go, but it is a very positive weekend with the scores as well. every single result going our way, which is beautiful, really.
Yeah. And a rightful man of the match award, Ben. Player of the match award now, we call it.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, again, it's the second game running where there's a few people that could have been nominated for it. I think I give a bit of extra credit to Milan, who had a very good game, and he set up the first goal, which got us off the mark, which was very important because getting that first goal was really important. You can't underestimate that, and that was a beautiful weighted pass over the top to Efron, who keeps making that run in from the left, and he's just causing teams nightmares. I mean, Efron, he could have been man of the match as well. There's a few players that could have done it. Rushworth just goes under the radar because he's just good every week. But yeah, I'd say the right man got the award.
Okay. When you look at the fixtures left, Jay, we spoke about it briefly last week. The gap now between you and third, it's hard to see how you balls this up. It is for me anyway. Is it for you?
I can't City, remember.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, I say it's going to sound a bit sort of cliche, but you take a game at a time now. That's it, really. We've set the precedent from that. Again, I've said it over and over again. I think that Borough game was a massive, massive win for us. Obviously for the points as well, but also just to show. The media was sort of getting very hyped on Borough at that time, rightly so, because they've been playing some fantastic football under Kim Hallberg. But as I've said many, many times, even when Coventry were top, when we were sort of X amount of points ahead, you don't win the league in November, you don't win the league in December, you don't win the league in January. You have to sort of keep going and going and going. I personally have said after this Sheffield United game on Wednesday, I think we've got quite a good run of games left over. And then you look at Borough have still got to play, I think Millwall, I think it is. Ipswich have got to play three of the top five. Hull have got to play three of them as well, and Millwall got to play two of them as well. So there's going to be a lot of points that they take off each other as well, which will give us a nice little boost also. So to be sort of very PC on it, I think, yeah, game by game, but I can't see it personally myself. I think we've got our second win now. We're going to keep going, and we've set the precedent of how we're going to perform. Any levels below that, you've got your captain Matt Grimes going to sort of kick it the arse. You've got Frank Onyeka, he's apparently quite a chill guy, but wouldn't want to mess with him. He looks like a big mean man if you get the wrong side of him as well. And yeah, I think things are just settling in perfectly well for us as well. So yeah, I personally can't see us messing up at this stage now.
Yeah, Frank the Tank admin called him, I think, this week. Yeah, I mean, he's right then, Tom, isn't it? After Sheffield United this Wednesday night, you then play an out-of-sorts Stoke City, then an out-of-sorts Bristol City, then an out-of-sorts Preston North End, before you've got then Southampton and Swansea to finish off the month with, and then I think 6 all very winnable fixtures in April, maybe Wrexham at home being the odd one out, and then you finish away to Watford. It can't go wrong. I just don't see where it can. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, yeah, I'm backing us to go up. I think we found our momentum now. I'm hoping with other teams. I think other teams, like we've had our blip, let's call it. I mean, we were really out of form. I'm not going to call it a blip, but I hope other teams are now going through that now, and we're coming out of it, and we're going to hit the momentum, hit the ground running now. I mean, 2 wins on the bounce. Yeah, Sheffield United will be tough. They beat Sheffield Wednesday today and relegated them, which, it's a shame for Sheffield Wednesday. But I don't see why we can't go there and get something. Obviously, Calvin Phillips got a red card, rightfully so. So you never know. I'll take a point there right now, but I don't see why we can't get all 3. There's no other games that really, like I say, worry me at the moment. Bristol might get moved as well because of the FA Cup, I'm pretty sure. So that might be a Tuesday night, but we'll see what happens with that one. The only other game is Preston at home. I know it sounds stupid because our home form's so good, but they are a bit of a bogey side. But we did beat them at home last season, so I don't see why we can't beat them this season. I'm fairly confident currently, let's just say, going into Sheffield United. I do think we can go there and definitely get something on Wednesday night.
Okay. They're going to plough a bit more detail into the West Brom game coming up shortly. But if you were to hang around in the division, big if, of course, Ben, but what League One club would you love to come up to have a decent away day at that's currently hanging around the top end of that league?
Well, the team I'd pick aren't really at the top, but Blackpool away day. It's always great. So, but yeah, to be honest, Mark, I'm a bit of a killjoy here, but I couldn't care less, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're not going to be there. We're not going to be there, hopefully. But yeah,
okay.
I think
when you revisit,
go on. Sorry.
When you revisit it in 2 years' time, then who do you want to?
Oh, Mark, you can't say.
Come on, Mark.
I'd like to see Blackpool get promoted,
okay.
but yeah.
All right, Jay.
I don't mind the shout Blackpool, but when you first gave us this question, you didn't specify which league, so I hadn't actually started looking at the Premier League.
Okay, right.
For me, Chelsea, not too far around from my house, so yeah, that would be ideal. But if we're looking at League One teams, I like the Blackpool shout because it's for me a nostalgic team. I remember them back in the day, very good team with Ian Holloway. But for me, I would say Bolton. Again, the Sam Allardyce era, I was a massive JJ Kocher fan. Ivan Campo, Jaskalainen in goal. That was such a brilliant team to watch, I remember. So I think they're a massive sleeping giant. So they're doing well in League One. So I would really like them to come up in the near future. But yeah, I love the fact that Charlton got promoted last season, and the Blackpools and those sort of teams that sort of had a bit of a bad patch like us, and hopefully they can come back up as well. But it's always nice to see some fresh, young, smaller teams as well, which would be good. But
cheers, Tom.
Yeah, if we're looking at Prem, I'd say Spurs because they're awful. But moving on, for talking League One, I would say for me, just because I think their ground looks really nice. Bradford. I've never been there. I think I don't know. I just think the ground looks really nice. It'd be a great away day, I think. So it's a really stupid reason. I really haven't checked League One this season. I've been so far up the top of the table. I haven't looked down there just yet. But for me, I think Bradford are 5th. So I'm going to go with them because their ground looks nice.
That is a sentence that's never been uttered before in the history.
I know the place is awful, but the ground looks like brilliant. And it used to be a Prem ground, so yeah, I'm going to go with them.
Okay, brilliant. Right, let us know in the comments, please. Yeah, you can say I don't care, Mark, because we're not going to be here. That's fine. We'll take it. Right then, before we just leaving Coventry aside for just a moment, there's been an article this week, which is quite a good read, about whether modern day football we are falling out of love with as a nation, and if so, why? So we'll just get your views on that for a second. Ben, the people you talk to at work, and the people in pubs, and so on, people associate. Obviously, you're a really good standard of footballer yourself. Do you think there is a growing divide between where we're at with football, and why is it?
I can't really say whether I think it's more popular than ever potentially, but I think VAR has not helped. I think it's been a real. You see ex-players, you see a lot of people talking about it. It slowed the game down. The joy's sort of going out of it. But attendances are all-time high, aren't they? Everybody's watching football every single night of the week on TV, whatever. I don't know how true that is, to be honest.
Well, there's been a game. There's been a game since the turn of the year. There's only been one day in January and February where there hasn't been a football game shown, a live football game shown. I mean, Jay, is it too much?
Never.
Do we need to drop down to 22 teams?
Never. No. I watch football every day, which is for me brilliant. Again, hang out with my wife, hang out with the kids every now and then. I've always got a little football match on the screen in the corner of my eye. If we don't tell them that, but yeah, I think there's like Ben said, things like VAR, city rule changes, the handball rule. Nobody knows what the rule is now. Again, like the Calvin Phillips one today, I always sort of joke that game's gone too soft. Obviously, he won the ball, but sort of followed through. Back in my day, that would have been a brilliant tackle kind of thing. The city rules constantly all the time that sort of pop up every now and then. But yeah, as Ben said, football's as big as ever. Like there's billions and billions of pounds being spent on it, and billions of people watching it all around the world. Again, for me personally, I wouldn't say I fell out of love, but I sort of was getting a bit annoyed with the Premier League a couple of years ago when everyone was doing pep ball, playing from the back and stuff like that. But that sort of seems to have gone out the way now, and everyone's sort of playing a bit more sort of direct football. But yeah, I think it's good as ever, really. Absolutely, obviously, Coventry doing well is always a nice little added bonus. But yeah, I think it's great, absolutely great.
Does it matter, Tom, that the English League champions are going to win it by not fluid attacking football as in we used to back in the day, but won it with corners and free kicks and set pieces.
Set piece FC Arsenal. To be honest, I think it's just nice not to see City win it every year. It's a bit predictable, but for me, I'm loving football than ever right now, mate, because I'm a Cov fan, so I'm a bit biased. But I think it's a few things for me. VAR, as Ben said, I'm still not over Man United at Wembley yet, so I think that's kind of killed the Prem a little bit. You can't even celebrate a goal without it going to VAR, pretty much. I think money side of things is becoming quite a money sport in a lot of areas. I think kind of ruins it for me. Can't really think of any other reason because right now I'm loving it. So I'm pretty happy with football, but I think they're changing a lot as well. I think changing the championship playoffs, like a team in 8th now can get playoffs. Just if it's not broken, don't fix it. I think a lot of people are getting quite frustrated with match change. Sometimes change is a good thing, but the playoffs just don't need changing. I think silly things like that, just keep them the way they are. People love them for the way they are now. Don't need to change them. But I think they're the reasons why a lot of people are falling out of love with it. But for me, I'm loving it more than ever. So I can't complain.
All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this. It'll be quite fascinating to see if there's any differences between clubs. I think maybe Premier League fans might feel a little bit differently with all the tourism that's going on as well in games.
Tourism's a good shout.
I think you've got clubs. Hopefully, you don't do this when you get there, but clubs selling their tickets or giving tickets to Ticketmaster and so on, which is just a bit of a farcical.
Everyone's got a selfie stick that in the ground. It seems these days.
Yeah. Another reason, which was on the article, was there's too many podcasts these days as well. Well, yeah, here to that.
Right. Some of the football influencers actually are pretty shocking as well. So they know who they are, but they would be watching. So don't worry.
Too many crap podcasts, which doesn't include us, lads?
Yeah, of course.
They're talking about.
There are tons of podcasts out there and vlogs and all that sort of stuff. Quite simply, for me personally, there's probably about 4 that I listen to. 4 commentary ones that I listen to, and maybe a few sort of non-cov ones that I listen to. So you pick and choose what you want to listen to. No one sort of holds it against you at the end of the day. So
this is it. We had a bloke in the Derby chat saying last week that our Derby podcast was the worst he's ever listened to, and was like, well, you can turn it off, mate. No one's supposed to put you at gunpoint. Right. A to Z time. We're up to Q this week then. Is this easy, Jay, or not?
Fairly easy. There was 2 that sort of stood out for me. Player-wise, Mickey Quinn, the most un-football-looking guy in the world, but he used to love finding the back of the net for us. We're obviously brilliant when we first started with us. But the other one, 23rd of August, 2025, etched in everyone's memory, or Coventry City fans' memory. QPR at home, obviously a fantastic day for many reasons. One, we bought the stadium that day. And second of all, we backed them 7-1 as well. It was just like a perfect day, I thought, for us. So QPR is another one. Not a nice reason for them at all, but I think it's sort of going to be etched in every Coventry City fan memory for ever and ever and ever.
Yeah, good show. Any others, Tom, Ben?
Yeah, Jay took my one. I was going to say the QPR 7-1. I mean, what a day. We bought the stadium. Unbelievable. Beat them 7-1 in our first game. Owning the stadium, it was unbelievable, and it's a day I'll never forget as a Cov fan. So, I mean, we were trying to get that stadium for God knows how long. So, yeah, that was for me. It's QPR 7-1. It was just amazing.
Okay. I'd have thought you were going to put the quarter final against Wolves in, Tom. You've always gone about that.
I do go on about that quite a lot. Of course, you can say quarter final. Yeah, that was also one of the best days of my life, to be fair. So.
We don't want QPR on our list to be like. Come on.
Quarter final at Wolves was very special. I mean, it was emotion, it had everything. Yeah, had everything.
I think Mickey Quinn was a great player. The sumo, he was great for us. He was one of the earliest players I remember. And he came in and he broke the Premier League record. He scored 10 goals in under 10 games for the first time, and it's only just been broken with Bruno Fernandes quite recently.
Yeah. Did they used to sing "He's fat, he's round, he cost £1 million"? Was it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right then, I think Mickey Quinn's going to get in there for the A to Z. Good news though, next week and the subsequent weeks we've got R, S, and T to fill, so it's going to be an absolute breeze for them for a couple of weeks.
R's easy for me.
Yeah, get thinking for U, V, and X when we get there. Right, you three, thanks very much for your contributions to my bits this week. Stay tuned. Here it comes. West Sky Blues. Walk extra time. If you haven't yet subbed to the channel, we'd love to have you as part of this little community. We read all your comments out through our lunch breaks every single week. We really enjoy all your different takes. You don't have to agree with us every week, and I know some of you don't. There's no harm in that whatsoever. Give us your thoughts, good and bad and indifferent. We love reading them. We'll see you next week. I'll see you next week after Sheffield United and the game this weekend. I'll catch you then. Here comes Jay, Ben, and Tom to dissect the West Brom game.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. So welcome back, guys. Obviously, another fantastic weekend for Coventry City, extending our lead at the top of the table, and more importantly, to third in the table, which we'll sort of talk about in a little while. So, with the West Brom lineup, no changes at all. We expecting that, Ben? Do you expect any changes, any sort of tactical change that you would have made, or were you happy with the 11 that sort of was announced?
No, I think we discussed it in last week's pod, and I said that we need to keep the same team every week if possible. No surprise to me, and he did. I think he did the right thing. Well, evidently.
Tom, yourself, happy with that starting lineup? Obviously, you were there on the day.
Yeah.
Was that the general consensus with all the fans in and around you as well? Happy with the team?
They were all very happy about the team. I mean, if there's no injuries or anything like illness, God, please no more illnesses again, then keep it the exact way it is, because I think we found our 11 now, and I think it's showing very good. So, yeah, I was really happy with that. I mean, if we can keep that 11 for the rest of the season, I know injuries will happen and stuff and tiredness. So it won't be that 11, but if it is that, I'll be very confident we'll be going up, because that 11 looked really good together. That back line, phenomenal. So, yeah, perfect 11. Keep it as it is for Sheffield United, if something doesn't come up before then.
I totally agree, guys. I think that's going to be the 11 for the foreseeable future, at least as well, unless there's any injuries, as you mentioned, or any sort of tactical changes that may sort of come up as well.
Suspensions, potentially,
starting off the game, I thought it was fairly equal first couple of minutes, but we scored the goal right at the perfect time. So, Ben, what was your sort of, what did you sort of think about the opening of the game? How do you think the tempo was? How do you think it sort of flowed at the beginning up until that goal?
Well, it surprised me a little bit, because at first I was expecting us to fly out the blocks like we did against Middlesbrough, but we didn't. It sort of took us a minute to get going, or 10, should I say? And then we finally put our foot on the ball and started taking some control of the game. And then from that moment, it seemed that it was just all us. We got the goal. We put our foot on the ball, but it was manic in the first 10 minutes. It was the possession was turning over. They were sort of hitting us. They were sort of coming at us with a bit of pace, and you could see they was after an early goal because of the terrible form they've been in. So I thought we battled that well. We got through it, and then there was one moment Grimes put his foot on the ball and he passed it to the centre back, and we sort of established some dominance. But I thought Milan. That's why I said before, mentioned about him being a potential man of the match, because that assist, we can't underestimate that. That was an absolutely 10 out of 10 ball, that from a right back. And it was on a plate. Mason took it well, but credit to Milan for that, because that was a beautiful ball.
It was,
and he signed a new contract as well.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. All three signed, we'll talk about that in a bit. I forgot to note that down. So again, I thought the same as well. It was a bit sort of, I was expecting, like you said, come out sort of all guns blazing, but it wasn't quite that performance. But also at the same time, I feel like it's sort of showing that we've grown a little bit as well. We don't have to constantly come out all guns blazing and sort of attack. I thought it was quite sort of smart sort of start to the game. Tom, obviously the first 5 minutes so till Mason Clark scored, what was the crowd like in that period of time? Were there a few sort of murmurs in the crowd, or were they sort of happy and content with how everything was going?
Yeah, I think atmosphere played a massive part in yesterday's game. I think West Brom fans sounded quite optimistic at the start, to be fair, getting behind their team. But as soon as the first goal went in, they turned. I mean, the boos at half-time were... I mean, I've been in some stadiums before where the boos have been loud, but they were big boos, and they were singing at Ramsey like your football is SHIT and stuff. And it was very toxic. I mean, the away end, I thought we were really good. I think, but I think it did start nervy. You could feel it. I was quite nervous myself. I was like, I think, it's always like a bit of a bogey thing for us, like bad records and stuff. We let it affect us. But yeah, West Brom started off quite optimistic, but as soon as that first goal went in, yeah, it was very toxic. And I think atmosphere played a huge part, and I think it was just a really good away end. I've been in some really good away ends. I think Stoke away was a really good away end this season, but West Brom's up there. It was very noisy. I think you guys watching it on telly could hear it as well. It was very loud.
Definitely so, yes. That's one thing I was going to sort of mention a little bit later on about the crowd, and obviously you've been in there. The first goal then, I thought this just sort of was a perfect example of Frank Onyeka and what he can do for this team. Obviously, West Brom sort of played through our borderline fairly well, sort of got on the turn. And then Frank got his big toe out, poked it over to Milan, who, as Ben has waxed lyrical about, sort of had plenty of time on the ball, picked his, put his head up. Mason Clark makes that run that he makes, God knows how many times a game, and sort of perfectly, the board waited for him, and he had to, I'm going to say a simple sort of finish, but I think the decision was made for him how he was going to finish that ball in the end. For me, it's a shame the goalkeeper got a little fingertip to that, because it would have been like aesthetically a perfectly looking goal there. But Ben, yeah, sort of break that goal down for me, because as I said, I just thought sort of emphasise how we play now, and Frankie Onyeka just got his big toe in there, nicked the ball away, and then Milan again just obviously had that wonderful pass. So yeah, break that down for us, Ben, please.
Well, you can see patterns now, and it's becoming muscle memory with the Efron run, and usually it goes out to Sakamoto, and then he comes inside and he sort of clips it across to him. But it was really good. I thought it was really good to see Milan actually be a bit brave on the ball, and that's what we need more from him. And instead of just passing it to Sakamoto, I want him to take more responsibility on the ball, which he did there. And he's looked up, he's seen him go, and he's trusted himself. And that'll go a long way for Milan now. He'll take confidence from that. And he needs to trust himself to do that, because he can do it. He's a player with bags of ability. And he needs to do it more for me and be a bit braver. Same in the final third areas. He needs to be brave and shoot a bit. But the goal was fantastic. The tackle from Onyeka was sort of like a slide in from a diagonal slide, and he's took the ball, and then he doesn't get up, he doesn't panic, he just lays it off to Milan, who has a touch, drives into the space, and he just clips it over. And I mean, it's like you said, that's a perfect way you said it. Mason's mind, the ball was that good that his mind was made up for him how to finish it, and that's when Efron is good sometimes, in them split seconds, rather than when he has to think about it, I think. And yeah, I think that's probably the little bit with Efron that's stopping him probably playing a little bit higher now, is that it's like Sterling, when he has time on the ball, he sort of fluffs it, and he reminds me a bit like him in them split second, he's overhead kicking it or finishing on a side volley, and he's really good in them moments. And I think there is more to come out of Efron, but yeah, it was a great goal, I thought.
Yeah, I thought Efron had a really, really good game. He looked like a real good threat throughout that game, but again, sometimes finishing isn't the best. But we'll let him off on that, because I think he's gone up a level or two this season. Again, obviously the goal I thought was absolutely fantastic, as we sort of touched upon, and I do feel that over the sort of last couple of weeks or last couple of months, really, that Onyeka tackle is something that's been missing from our game massively, and that really, really pleased me about that goal. Obviously, the rest of it was all fantastic, but that tackle is something I really think we've been missing. But Tom, I want to talk about the second goal then. Bobby Thomas comes in, wins his tackle brilliantly. The ball sort of bobbled in the middle of the park. Over to you, my friend. What happens?
Yeah, Rodoni, phenomenal. I mean, the solo run from Rodoni. I mean, he's got bags of space to shoot. I mean, I did say it to some of my mates in the away, and I said, this is the sort of goal we would be conceding, not now, but like previously in our little bad form run. That is the sort of goal we'd be conceding. We'd be giving them so much space to shoot, and Rodoni had all the time in the world to shoot. But the curl on the ball as well is phenomenal. I mean, for me, it's goal of the season. I mean, Mason Clark overhead kick at Stoke as well is up there. But, I mean, from how far out it is, the technique, the curl, it is phenomenal. I mean, you could see how good it was in person, because we're behind it, obviously, in the away end. But when you watch it back, it is just phenomenal. I love Lampard's little clap as well, because you could tell he's proud of that. It's the sort of goal he's scored in his prime. So, yeah, it was, for me, goal of the season. Rodoni, so happy for him as well, because we've all won this back quite a lot. And for him to score a goal like that in such a crucial game, brilliant. So, and obviously, I said about the ticket evidence earlier as well. That's so nice to hear about. And it's funny, going back to Mason Clark's, from the away end, you couldn't really tell it had gone in at first. I think we had quite a late reaction. I think it looked like he just kept it out with his foot, and we were like, oh no, it's actually gone in. So that was good as well. But, and Mason Clark's finish is really good as well. So fair play to him. I thought he had a really good game. But Rodoni has really stepped up these past two games. I did see in his post-game interview, he said he's been playing with a lot of, I think he had like a lot of things we don't know about. So I do think there might be some surgery in summer for him. But, well, I think they've got him back up to his best at the moment. I just got to hope he stays there. But really, really happy for him. I thought he had a really, really good game again. And that goal, I mean, I could go on about the goal all day. Just phenomenal. Perfect.
we'll cut you off there then in that case. And yeah, I think Rodoni's definitely in the last couple of games. He seems to be playing, obviously still drifting out wide a little bit, but he's playing a little bit more central as well now, which is really, really good. So it gives that nice little solid unit in the middle there, which is absolutely fantastic. In that case, I want to touch upon West Brom a little bit. I don't want to sort of disrespect them too much, but I don't think we got out of first gear really in that game. I thought they were so poor. They had one shot on target. So they had one shot, sorry, all together in the first half, which was in the injury time. Jed Wallace, he hit it wide. I thought they offered absolutely nothing going forward. What would your sort of take? I'll ask both of you, obviously, because Tom, you were there, Ben, obviously watching TV. What was your sort of take of West Brom in that game? First half, second half, I thought we allowed them to play a little bit more on the ball, sort of a bit of game management. But yeah, what's your thoughts about West Brom, Ben?
The team that's shot for confidence. We didn't have to get into second gear because why would we risk our players? We're 2-0 up. You could just let them have the ball for two games solid and they wouldn't have scored a goal. So I think the game was managed really well and they could be in real trouble. They've got a lot of overpaid rubbish. They've got a manager that's come in from a league that's unknown compared to this level, and the fans, like Tom said, the fans are becoming toxic now, and all that together is a recipe for disaster.
Definitely. Tom, what you said, obviously there's a few murmurs in the crowd from the West Brom side of things. What was it like there? Because sort of going, a bit more depth.
Yeah, it was. You could tell they're a club that is really negative at the moment. I mean, I think they've got a manager who's way out of his depth. I think he's an awful manager. No offense. I mean, I've always think MLS appointments are quite risky. It's a shame, really, because I love Dennis Lawrence, so it's a shame to see him going through it as well. But I think he's an awful manager, and I do see him getting the sack. I'm surprised it's not done already. I mean, he's only had like 6 games, but they haven't won any of them. They look awful. I mean, they started off okay, but once we scored, their confidence is gone. I mean, the only chance I really remember them having was, I think it was in the second half. It was straight at Rushworth. I mean, any goalkeeper would be saving it, and except for that, they offered nothing. As Ben said, we didn't have to do anything second half because they weren't going to score. We could have played them all night, and they wouldn't have scored. They're just shocking. And it's weird because I always play whenever we play West Brom, I think this is him I really fear, especially away. Like at home, I feel like we might get something, but away, I think we never win it. Hawthorne's just a proper fortress, but no, they're just shocking, and I am tipping them to go down. Unfortunately, what I say, unfortunately, but yeah, they look awful, and the fans are turned. It's very toxic, but not a good time to be a West Brom fan.
I do genuinely think they are in. I think obviously Sheffield have gone down. Sheffield Wednesday have gone down. Oxford, there's quite a bit of a gap there, so maybe they'll be sort of going down. And they do tend to struggle against teams in and around them, basically not the big boys. Leicester, I think, will get a bit of a manager bounce with Gary Rowett. Good, solid manager at this level. I thought, again, not that one to do well, apart from the next couple of games, because they've got a few of our rivals coming up. But I think that's quite a shrewd appointment from them. Like you said, I think Ramsey, I just don't get why they went from an unknown young manager that didn't work to an unknown young manager that seemingly not working at the moment as well. So I thought it was a bit of a strange one there ourselves. Again, just want to look at these sort of stats. In the first half, it's fairly equal possession-wise, 52% for Cov, 48% obviously for West Brom. I thought a lot of their balls were just playing around the back. They didn't need to sort of do anything really themselves. Our XG, mind you, we scored 2 goals, 0.67. We had 4 shots, 2 shots on target, obviously both of them goals. 1 big chance created, which was obviously the Mason Clark one, obviously none missed. 213 passes, 79% success rate, 2 corners, 6 fouls. West Brom, their expected goals was 0.01% XG, 1 shot in the whole half. That was, as I said, in injury time. That shot that went wide. 0 shots on target. 0 shot, big chance created. 0 shots, big chances missed. 200 passes, which again I think probably 199 of those were between defenders. 83% pass success rate. This is one stat that sort of screams out to me with them as well. We committed 6 fouls ourselves. They committed 2 in that first half. Which, if you're a battling team at the bottom of the table against a top of the table team or a promotion pushing team, you should be getting in and sort of creating those fouls and sort of breaking up play a little bit as well, which that for me is quite a damning sort of stat there for them. But we'll sort of go into the second half now a little bit, because we spoke about the first. Again, stats wise, so 63% for West Brom, 37% for Coventry, which we'll sort of talk about in a little bit. Expected goals 0.7 for them, 0.52 for us, 10 shots on target for them. So 10 shots for them, 6 for us, 1 on target each. We created 2 big chances, missed 2 big chances, obviously. Again, 229 passes for them, 123 for us. Again, that half, they committed 8 fouls, we committed 1 foul, 1 offside each, 3 corners for them, 0 for us. Obviously, the big difference in stats there in the second half. Again, I'll sort of give my opinion a little bit, but why do you think did they come out much better in that second half, Ben, in your eyes, or what was the reason for that big shift in stats there for you?
Well, for a start, they've had a rollicking at half time, and they've been booed off the pitch, so you've got to expect them to come out with some sort of a reaction. But credit to Lampard and the coaching staff, they've just said, just let them have the ball, just let them have it. We didn't even press. So we just let them have the ball, and I think it was very clever, because now we've got players that have not pushed that extra 10%. We've got an extra day's rest than Sheffield United coming up on Wednesday. I think the game was, that's what I love about this team and this manager, and it's just the game management's, it's really good. I think we was unfortunate during that run of bad results, and it's okay when you're winning by 1. Everyone's happy then. But when you lose and you're on the other side of results, everything starts to feel like it's the end of the world, when it's not really. And it was marginal. But I think we're just not a threat with and I feel sorry for the West Brom fans. I really do. But we've had our go, so they can have a go now, I think.
Definitely. One thing, obviously, out of those 10 shots, I thought it was a very interesting stat. They had the 10 shots, 1 shot on target, which obviously Tom mentioned was effectively a P roller back to Rushworth. Out of the 10 shots that they had, 6 were blocked by Coventry, which I thought was a good start for our defence in that case. And we'll sort of lead on to something I want to sort of discuss in a little while. But obviously, Tom, you were there, as I keep mentioning. Were the crowd getting nervy? The fact that we were sort of relinquishing possession to them? Again, I think Ben's absolutely spot on. I think it was game management. Just let them have the ball. They were passing around the back. Why do we need to exert the energy to sit and maybe sort of get something on the counter attack? Which, again, I think there was a few half chances and we blazed a few over and stuff like that. But again, I thought they created little to nothing again in that half. But what was the crowd like in that second half? Because we were 2-0 up. Again, I thought the crowd was fantastic from what I heard. But were there any nerves at all in the crowd, or were they sort of quite calm and sort of relaxed about the situation?
Yeah, there were a few nervy moments in the second half when they were attacking us a little bit, but I thought our defensive pair were phenomenal, really good. As I said earlier, we found our defensive pair. But yeah, a few people, me included, there was a few nervy moments, especially that shot at Rushworth. I thought it was going to be a better shot than it was. And a player that I thought did sort of stand out for them, who looked okay, was Isaac Price. He's a young lad. I think he's a good player. He's got a big future. But I mean, the main thing that we spoke about is the fact we kept a clean sheet. So that's a positive as well. So obviously we kept one against Oxford, and then obviously Middlesbrough scored one. But as we said about the Middlesbrough game, you can have all the ball you want, but it's what you do with it. Ultimately, we won the game 2-0. We got the 2 goals, so we did more with the ball than they did. But they had more possession, just like Middlesbrough, though. But we're getting these results, and it's massive. So, but yeah, I thought, their fans got up a little bit in the second half for a few chances, but it was just ultimately just toxic. I mean, the end of the game was, it was very toxic, and we were very happy. So, but yeah, a few nervy moments, but I feel like deep down I knew that we were going to win, because they just didn't like scoring at all. So it felt very confident.
Yeah, I really thought we just sort of let them have the ball. They were not going to create anything, little to anything really, in that case. So I thought, and a clean sheet as well. Just checking on the stats there. We are joint second on clean sheets as a team. Millwall on 12, Stoke on 12. Then there's us, Bristol, City, Charlton Athletic as well, all on 11. Borough, Ipswich and Swansea on 10. So again, sort of as Ben mentioned earlier, Rushworth just goes under the radar a little bit. I thought he had a good solid game as well. Sort of his handling was impeccable as always. Distribution was good, I thought, as well.
He's very commanding.
very always. Again, it's sort of, do feel a bit sorry for him because he sort of set himself a high standard, and everyone sort of expects that now. And and his standard is very, very good at this level. And I think there was sort of debate about Jääskeläinen at Stoke and him being sort of one of the all the Bristol City goalkeeper being best goalkeeper in the league. I think sort of hands down that he
Johansson, you mean?
Yeah.
He's
injured at the moment as well. But
injured now, though, isn't he?
Jääskeläinen was the old Bolton goalkeeper.
Yeah. But again, one thing I want to really touch upon is the defence in front of them. I thought Bobby really, really solid again. I thought Milan played really, really well. A little bit more, a bit like Borough, a little bit more defensive than what he was prior to that. Again, he still get forward, but he's a little bit sort of more reserved as well. I thought Jay starting to look back to his best as well. But for me, I thought Lati was absolutely fantastic. One thing I'm going to talk about at the moment is our passing sort of stats as well. But Lati Bodier's passing stats, I thought, yes, they were absolutely phenomenal. We know Bobby Thomas, you know what you're going to get with him. He's going to be at sort of 50% sort of, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's crap. He had 72% passing stats. Milan, 62% passing stats, passing accuracy, sorry, that is. Jay, 84 passing. Joel Bodier, his was 91%. So again, obviously appreciate a lot of these will be around the back and stuff. But again, the one sort of stat that really stood out for me, his long ball accuracy. 3 out of 4 passes, long ball passes were successful for him as well. So which is really, really good. I personally think that the Bobby Thomas is 1 out of 10. So not quite as good for Bobby. But I thought that for me personally, I think in the last 2 games, the defenders have sort of just been told, just defend. You don't have to play around the ball. You just give the ball to Matt and to Frank in front of you, or whoever, give to sort of the fullbacks as well, because they're obviously going to be there all the time for you now as well. I just think that the defenders have been told, just defend. That's all. That's your job. And I think they've done that in the last 2 games absolutely perfectly. I'll go to Ben first of all. Out of the 4 of them, who's your pick of the bunch, and what do you think has sort of changed a little bit? Because we have looked a bit ropey at the back at certain times. What sort of changed for you in that?
Jay, I think it was the start of last season. I think that's how far we go back to where I've been saying that it's not the defence, it's the central midfield. That's how far we go back. And that there's a reason that people play 4-2-3-1, because you need the 2 there, and they've got to stay there in that double pivot. Otherwise, with the way our fullbacks bomb on, you're on a hide into nothing. And it was only a matter of time before that got exposed, because there's so much research goes into Championship football these days, analysts, and they're watching every game, and there's probably 4 sets of eyes on every game from the club you're about to play against. So eventually you will get found out. But just to go back to Bobby and Joel, they've been absolutely brilliant. But one thing I have noticed this week, and it's only just come to me this week after watching it back, I've watched the game back, and Joel offers a sense of calm. It's in them split-second moments where Kitchen sometimes, I don't want to talk bad about him, but sometimes he'll slice it into his own goal, or he'll panic and bring someone down. Joel, in them split seconds where it could cost a goal or save a goal, it's like everything slows down for him, and it's a sign of a good player. Like we say, Joel isn't the strongest runner. He isn't the paciest guy, but you'll see when the ball comes into him and there'll be players all around him, he'll just chest it back to the keeper or just head it back to the keeper. It's like he's got that sort of like that 12th man in him where it just the game slows down. And when you play football, sometimes, you know what I mean, you sort of get this where everything sort of slows down. I think, watch Paul Scholes talking about it, where everything around the edge of the box, it sort of everything goes in slow motion. And I genuinely think Latty's got that, and he's just so calm, and it just calms everyone around him down as well. And he's just so assured. He communicates well. And like I say, I've harped on for a while, he is our best defender, but he's a bit small and he can't run, which is probably the only thing that's held him back from playing higher.
I think you're bang on there, actually. I know you've been banging on about the centre midfield for a while now, which I'm sure you're going to sort of carry that on forever and ever and ever, because you're pretty much spot on, I think, in that scenario. And I do agree. I think if Joel was a little bit faster and a little bit bigger in height, that is, not other areas, because we know he's quite large in other areas. But yeah, I agree. He's got a weird sort of running technique. He always looks like he's injured to me. He picked up a little injury. There was a moment, I think, someone played through. He won it for he gave it away a corner, but he just looked like he was running injured, which is quite strange. But yeah, I do agree with that actually. He looks like he is just calm and sort of cool all the time under pressure. So I think that's a big sort of help for Bobby as well, because Bobby, I forget he's 24 years old. He is a bit of a hothead, I would say, at times. So having that nice sort of calming figure next to him and a bit of a leader next to him, maybe someone that sort of talks to him through the game. Because Joel, from when I would go to matches, he's constantly talking. From what I can see, so that would be I do think that having that centre pairing in front of them helps up massively, and it just seems like they've just gone back to the basics with defending. I feel obviously Kitch is brilliant bringing the ball forward, but realistically we probably don't need that at the moment. We just need to be solid and sort of let our attackers attack and sort of create for us, which is paying dividends. The one negative for me, the only sort of negative for me for that game, and I think we sort of played really, really well. We played the game really, really well in front of us with our passing stats, which I've noticed. Borough, they had dropped down, and yesterday they dropped down. So normally we're sort of in the 80s for passing completion stats. The last two games have been in the sort of 70s. Onyeka's 75%, which I think is about sort of normal for him. Looking at his old sort of stats, EMC 74%, Rodoni was quite good at 87%, Tat 62%. The one that sort of jumps out for me is Matt Grimes at 78%. Again, quite similar against Borough as well, which again Borough can sort of appreciate because it was obviously quite compact in the middle there. But again, with this one, I was a bit surprised a little bit with our passing stats. Tom, what was your reason? Did you notice that in the game, and what do you think the reason for that would be?
I think. Sorry, I just cut you off a little bit there, mate. Sorry. I think sometimes it's like when the pressure's on, the panic passes for me, and I think that takes a stat down. Somebody I've noticed we've been mentioning him for ages that his passing's got the best is Bobby Thomas. I mean, I think he's a quality defender. On his day, I think he's amazing. But I just think passing-wise, it's not great. I mean, as Joel had everything, his passing was phenomenal. I think right now Lati is our best defender. But I also think Onyeka's really helped the defence as well. And I think Onyeka's brought in some really good passes as well. So I think for me, it's just panic passing. I think when the pressure's on a bit, you make silly mistakes. It happens. But yeah, I think for me, most of them bad passes probably come from Bobby. And I'm not trying to slate him because I think he was really good. But I did notice yesterday, a lot of us were saying in the away and like, it's just Bobby Thomas passing, isn't it? It's just not great. But hopefully one day if he gets there and improves that, I think he's probably one of the best. I mean, I think even Lampard said it in pre-game. He said there's a few things he needs to sort out, but if he does on his day, he's the best defender in the league. And I'm not disagreeing with that. I think Bobby Thomas is quality. So I'm not here to slate him. I just think his passing's a bit, for our stats, I think his passing lets us down just a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. Can I add to that a bit, Jay? Can I add to that?
I'm going to ask you next anyway, Ben. I was going to ask you because I know you love this conversation, but yeah, sort of give us your take on that.
So the pitch was really bad. And we're sort of playing percentage areas at the minute. So the reason the passing's down is because we're sort of going a bit longer into channels and into areas. So the passing is riskier, but we're seeing the benefits from that as well, rather than just playing needless passes around the back four and into the midfield. So that is probably the reason, because we are playing areas and percentages a bit more now, because we're playing the game in front of us rather than try to football every team off the pitch. Which, if you watch Middlesbrough, that might be their downfall this season.
Yeah, again, I think you can see the quality of the pitch, and with Rodoni's second goal, when it sort of perfectly just bobbles up and sits for him, which sort of helped him ironically as well. Again, with Bobby Thomas as well, I think. If you're sort of expecting, if anyone's, obviously not you guys, but if anyone's expecting Bobby Thomas to be raised on the ball and sort of having great passing stats, I think you might be looking for something you're never going to get, unfortunately. But I think everyone sort of knows Bobby's a sort of 50-50 passer at the back there. And it does feel like we're sort of giving up the ball a little bit. Again, personally, I always say Coventry always feel like they're a better sort of counter-pressing team and maybe going a bit more direct at times. And it's working really well. I think you just have to play the game in front of you. That's it. Yeah, there may be some games where we decide to keep the ball a bit more and sort of dictate the game a little bit more, like we were at the beginning part of the season. But I think Frank's been quite smart in the fact that we went through a bit of a tough patch. I'm not going to call it a wobble. It was a tough patch. It was 2 months. It wasn't great, but we're sort of playing to the team strengths now and sort of making the most of what we're sort of get out of our attackers in that case as well. Subs, the subs for me maybe 5 minutes a little bit too late. I thought personally, but I thought when they came on, they all did really, really well. What we all sort of thought, again, Ben, I'll come to you here. What are your thoughts about the subs that came on? How did they do? Was the timing right? Did you feel as well? What was your sort of take on the subs and how?
I agree with you. I think it was just a little bit too late. I was looking at the clock and it was like 60, going on 65 minutes, I think. And I was thinking, come on, let's make some changes. I thought it was a bit safe. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I'd just be like, right, stick Markello on. Let's have a look at him. Let some fresh legs, some fearless legs to go on. But Lampard's just very clever and very methodical, and he just thinks, right, we'll just do our regular subs, we'll see the game out. And I suppose he's right in a sense, because if you put Markello on and then they get a goal, you're under the cosh all of a sudden, aren't you? And yeah.
I wasn't on the bench, so he was dropped for Brandon Thomas Sante, obviously. Was
he not even on the bench? No, was he not? Yeah, I'm thinking of putting I want to see George Shepherd and things like that, but it's just not going to happen, is it, this season? But yeah, I think it you can't argue with the subs, can you? I think they were spot on. Eccles again comes on, he just adds that assuredness and obviously gives important for Rodoni to get a rest, because I bet you feel bad now, Tom, don't you? Now he said that there's been a lot of underlying issues after you've been slating him for weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we all do. I think all us Cov fans do that have been slated him. So
yeah, I think
just to sorry, Jamie, just to chip in on the subs. I do agree, 5 minutes too late. However, I would like to say it was nice from the West Brom fans to give BTA a good reception. He had a really good reception. They're all applauding him. I don't know if you guys saw the video as well. Have you seen EMC giving that West Brom fan a signature from the bench? Yeah, proper. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah. BTA got a nice reception. SA, I thought he looked all right when he came on, did his usual skills, nearly scored. Torp had a good chance as well. I thought they were good subs, the right subs, but yeah, it could have been a bit earlier. But they were safe, which is fine. Eccles looked good as well. So yeah, my thought on the subs.
Yeah, I was going to say, the subs I thought they all came up. They were just the subs that you needed, I felt. I just thought perfect subs to make, but I would have done it maybe sort of 5-10 minutes earlier, just bring a bit of fresh legs on. The game was sort of dying off a little bit, so maybe give it like a second wind of energy. I thought Sims did well up front as well, won a few balls, but one player I thought did really, really well was Josh Eccles again. I think he's been really, really good. Again, I keep saying it, over the last 2 months when we had that bad patch, I think Rushworth and Eccles are probably the two players I think that may have come out with a little bit of credit in that period of time, personally. But again, I keep banging on about this. The quality we've got coming off that bench is really, really good. Sims, Eccles, SA, Brandon Thomas Sante, Torp came on with 5 minutes ago. Then we've still got Wolfenden, £4 million Wolfenden, £4 million Kitchen on the bench as well. Jake Bidwell still there. KKH nowhere to be seen at the moment. Markello, £4 million Markello not seen at all. Yang again not on the bench again. So the depth is looking really, really positive. Jamie Allen not there as well. So the depth is really looking well for us. And last week I sort of said we're probably second best squad behind Ipswich. I've had a look at it. I think we may sort of be pushing them for the top spot. Goalkeepers, let's sort of break this down a little bit. Goalkeepers, they probably edge us because they've got two really top quality goalkeepers. I'll say defence, they edge it as well in the depth they've got in defence. Midfield, it's a bit closer than I'd say. And
Eccles, yeah, to be fair.
They've obviously Matiwa, they've got Clark, they've got obviously Dan Neal now as well. The guy from Napoli, Castillo, whatever his name is. Clark, they have not been that good in midfield, hence why they got Dan Neal. We have got Torp, who's been banging in goals left, right, and centre. Matt Grimes, consistently one of the best midfielders in the league this season, bar maybe a couple of games. Obviously, Onyeka's come in, done fantastic for us already in 2 games. Obviously, not a big sort of, not a lot of sort of games to play with us, but I think he's been fantastic as well. Eccles been fantastic, I think, this year as well. I think we sort of may have edged it in that area. Wingers, I think they would probably edge it maybe. Their right wing hasn't been fantastic. Their left wing sort of definitely carrying them there. And their strikers are not very good at all. So we would definitely win there as well. So I would say maybe Would you say we're the strongest squad in the league on paper? Again, Tom, I'll go to you first of all. What do you think there? And if there is anyone that I've missed, like Borough, I don't think they've got that much depth in there. Millwall, again, I don't think that much depth. Not that much depth. Would you say we are best squad in the league, or you give it to Ipswich or anybody else?
I think it's a tough one, but I think it's between us and Ipswich. They've got some real quality. Philogene, Clark, but then the thing is, if Philogene's fit, they're starting him and then bringing Clark on, and I think they're both brilliant players. I think it's a really close call. During our bad patch and probably the whole season, I would have said Ipswich, but now looking at it, I think we're definitely up there. I think we're even. I'm going to give us even because I do think us and Ipswich will be in the top two. Personally, come the end of the season, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with Borough, but I don't know. I mean, I keep looking at their 2 games in hand, but one is against Pompey away, which is a tough place to go. We will know. So, but personally, I think we're joint. I think we've both got really good depth. And you look at our bench compared to the Birmingham game. I mean, we had Perry, Andrews. I think the only attacking option we really had was Haji Wright. And you look at it now, it's 9 days. So I think when you look back on the January transfer window, I think we did really well. So yeah, but I think it's a joint top 2 for me, between us and Ipswich.
Ben, I know you're sort of quite vocal about these sort of things because you, yeah.
I watch a lot of championship games. I watch a lot.
Yeah.
You could make a case for every championship fan's going to sort of back their own team. I mean, it goes under the radar how good Sheffield United's squad is. Birmingham squad's really, really strong. Ipswich, Preston.
Wrexham.
Oh, Wrexham have got a very good squad. Yeah, they have. They've got a very good squad. I mean, yeah, I think Sheffield United, with the players they brought in, have got a very, very good squad. It's a bit mix and match, but if you look at every sort of position, they're quite stacked in it as well. So I think that there'll be a sort of a challenger next season. But yeah, I think our squad, well, I'm a biased Cov fan, I think our squad's the best. It's actually frightening now when you look at the depth we've got and the players we've got to come on. I remember looking back a few years ago and I was thinking, oh, look at their bench. Wow. And now it's like, wow, look at our bench.
I was looking a couple of months ago, I was looking at, wow, look at their benches. We don't have any depth at all. And all of a sudden, overnight, we've got this fantastic sort of depth, which is amazing. Just finishing off this sort of West Brom game. First of all, man of the match for the game. Again, I think it's a bit of a tricky one. Obviously, Onyeka got the Sky one. Wouldn't argue with that at all, but I thought Mason Clark was very good. I thought the fullbacks were very good. Centre-backs were very good as well. I thought there could have been a couple of shouts for man of the match. Tom, who would you give yours to? Ben, who would you give yours to? Tom, go to you first.
I think it's really tough. I think Onyeka, for me, Onyeka personally, but I think you could call it Rudy because of the goal, and I thought his overall play was really good. For me, I think Latty Bodier as well. He just looked so calm in defence. So I think any of them 3 are up for a good shout. But for me, I'm going to go with Onyeka only just because I just think it looks so much better with him. I mean, we were talking about it last week. He's just phenomenal. So Onyeka, but it's a close one.
Ben?
I just want to actually say we've not spoke about Haji Wright, but I thought he linked the play and held the ball up brilliantly. It wasn't his day in front of goal, but he didn't give up. He kept going for the team. He did some great layoffs, first touch layoffs. He did a few chest one. He laid off on his shoulder as well. I thought special mention to him because it's not good as a striker when it's not going for in front of goal, and it's hard to just keep going for the team. And we know he sort of comes across as sort of like, look at me, I'm Haji Wright, but I thought he deserves a bit of credit.
He was getting his shirt pulled a lot as well.
And players were limping away from him. He's a batter. He's battering ram. You see players limping away from him, and they're trying to sort of like say cheers, mate, and he's just ignoring them. He's in beast mode at the minute. To be fair, just to stop digressing, I think I'd give it to Milan because that first goal and the way he sort of put us in for that goal was just. The game could have been different if he didn't play that ball.
Oh yeah, as I said, I think the fullbacks were really, really good for us throughout the whole game. I need to send you guys the running order of my conversation because Haji, as per normal, is the last thing I want to talk about in that case. And pretty much what you said, I don't think it obviously wasn't his best game that he's had in the Cov shirt, but the stat that really stands out to me, ground duels didn't win 0 out of 2, not a problem. But West Brom, their defenders are massive. They've got big centre-backs there. He won 5 out of 7 aerial duels, even, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. He committed 1 foul, not a problem with that at all. One clearance headed, 1 recovery as well. I thought he battled so hard in that game. So Ben, you've sort of stole my line right there. I thought Haji didn't get his goal, but he worked his arse off. So if anyone says Haji Wright does not care, I think that game particularly shows how much he cares. Didn't get his goal, but he worked hard for that team and sort of set this tone for the attacker, how to press and how to sort of battle in that front line as well, which is very, very good. And one other special mention I want to make out is to the fans. I thought the fans were, again, watching through the TV, I could hear them all game for pretty much 90 minutes. So, Tom, what was it like in the crowd? Can you feel like a little extra step a little bounce in the back in the crowd after that Borough win? Again, as I said, I think that Borough win will go down as a turning point for our season. I was super confident going into that game. I don't know why. I was super confident going into that game. Stupidly, I think we're going to win every game ever we play. So, I was stupidly confident going into that game. But I thought it was a really fantastic. It wasn't just the result; it was the performance that we put in there as well. I think that's given the club, the players, and especially the fans an extra little step. What was it like in the crowd? What was, again, general consensus of everyone is obviously going to quite a lot of home and away games. Was there a sort of different feel than it has been over the last couple of months?
Yeah, I feel like it's a feeling of togetherness. Like we're all saying after the Oxford game, look, we've got, 15 games to go. Just back them. Last 15 games, just get behind them. And we did that on Monday night. I thought we were phenomenal at the CBS. And then you could feel it before the game. And when the players walking out, you could just feel they just want to back them. And that's what we were doing all game. And I thought, as I said earlier, I think it's top 2 away loudness, whatever you want to call it, of the season up there with the Stoke game. I thought we were really, really noisy. I love the new Onyeka chant. I thought that was brilliant as well. Really got the away end going. Yeah, it was a really, really good day overall. And I thought the fans were brilliant. And I think now we're backing them. We're just getting behind them and we're just going to see them over the line. Someone I did forget to mention, and I want to shout out, is the ref for all the wrong reasons, because I thought the ref was dreadful. I mean, we haven't touched upon the ref. I thought he was very one-sided. I thought just shocking, just terrible refereeing. I just want to touch upon that really quickly. Just standard, and I thought he was really shocking. I mean, we were fuming with him. I mean, we were booing at halftime, but not because of our performance, but because of the ref performance. We were booing along with them. But yeah, the ref.
Tommy Gate, did you see it when Rodoni had his shirt pulled off his back and pulled on the floor and he gave the free kick that way? I was like,
yeah, it's shocking. I mean, what did they show it on TV? The Sakamoto yellow card. What did Sakamoto do wrong with that?
I was just going to ask you, does anyone know what? Unless he thought Onyeka and Sakamoto do look quite similar. Onyeka made a foul, I think it was, and then
I think it was dissent. Yeah, I think it was dissent. He said something to
Pats is not going. Little innocent Pats is not going to say it.
He was annoyed. Got elbowed in the face, so he said something to the referee, which then led to a yellow card. But was you playing with the ball, Tom, in the crowd? Playing with the ball.
Oh yes, the ball. Yeah, that was really funny. So I think we were throwing them. I was near the bottom. I was like row 6, so this was all near the top, so I couldn't really see it. But I think we were throwing the ball at the West Brom fans, and they were throwing it back at us. Then the stewards were taking it away, and we were going like, "We want our ball back." It was brilliant. Yeah, this whole thing with the ball. It was, and then we wouldn't give it back. It was really good. I thought the atmosphere. And after the game as well, I want to give a shout out to the West Brom security team, because there was 4 of them, and they were going like way to the away fans. It was brilliant. I thought it was just a really good away day. So yeah, shout out to them as well. They made it even more funny. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Fantastic. And then just before we go into the Sheffield United game, it was almost the perfect weekend of results for us. Again, I just feel like the tide has changed with that Borough game, as I keep going on about. It was almost the perfect sort of weekend, as I keep saying. You look at the Hull lost 3-1 at home. Again, like I've been saying for a while, they can't maintain what they're doing just because the XG and all that sort of stuff not sort of looking great. Ironically, they were again looking at stats, the better team at the 2, but lost 3-1. Borough 0-0, had tons of possession as per usual. As I keep saying, they did absolutely nothing with it at all. They try and play this lovely, pretty football. again, 2.33 XG, but only created 2 big chances, 7 shots on target. Oxford hit the post or the woodwork twice in the first half as well, so they definitely had some chances there. Both missed 2 big chances there. Millwall at home against Pompey lost, and again, looking at the stats, deservedly lost there as well. And then Wrexham as well looked like, again, stat-wise, absolutely battered Ipswich. Looking at the stats, we basically have gone from bottoming the league to extending our lead to third place by 3 points, better goal difference, extending our lead to third place to 9 points with a better goal difference, and extending our lead to Ipswich, I think, by 11 points now, I think it is. Obviously, they've got 2 games in hand. But again, they're 2. I would not be confident if I was an Ipswich fan, because they've got quite a lot of away matches, which their form is actually, looking at their away form, if you just give me a second, they are currently 14th in the away form league at the moment. And I think out of all the teams that are playing in that top 5, 6, top 5, sorry, that are going for autos, they've got the most away matches. They've got Watford away next, and they've got 3 home matches, but they've got a lot of games to make up as well. Could that weekend have gone any better, guys?
No. I mean, if Borough lost, but except for that, no.
Honestly, a brilliant weekend. Ben, we've been getting a little bit of stick from a lot of fans, a lot of Borough fans sort of mocking us for getting 0-0 at home to Oxford. Ipswich fans saying we're going to crumble the league, and they sort of come up with us quickly. Millwall fans and Hull fans moaning that we're not sort of including them in the auto chats at the moment. Again, I appreciate the league is nowhere near won. I can appreciate autos are nowhere near done. What I'm so sort of happy that this has happened, because it's sort of a bit of a humble pie there for them. What's your sort of thinking with all that as well?
Well, it was good, because we sort of sat here quiet, and so I sort of stayed out of it and didn't get involved with it, just ignored and just said, we'll see. But you have to bear in mind that what's happened in the last week or 2 weeks can just happen again, and it can flip again in the blink of an eye in this league, and nothing's ever done till it's done. But now this is different a little bit, because, like you keep saying, that Middlesbrough game was huge. Frank, for the second season running, we've brought a massive statement signing that sort of turned the tide. And I think all we have to do, the odds are with us now. They seriously are. We just need to keep winning our home games. That's all we need to do, and we will get over the line. It's basically as simple as that. Simple as that.
Again, coming on to this Sheffield United game, for me personally, I've said a couple of things. One, Sheffield United away on a Wednesday is probably the only game that sort of scares me a little bit. Probably, I'd say scares, probably a bit exaggerating, I'd say, at the moment, for reasons I'll come on to in a moment. And the second thing I've always said is, especially with our blip, if we come out in the top 2 by the end of February, I could say I think we're staying in that top 2, just because of the run of games that we've got, which we'll sort of go through in a moment. But the reason why Sheffield United aren't as scary for me anymore is I watched that Sheffield Wednesday game today. Your local rivals, you've got a chance to send them down. I thought Sheffield Wednesday looked quite decent against them, to be quite honest with you. Other thing is, no Calvin Phillips. They've got no Joe Rothwell. They've got Ridwell, I think his name is. He's an injury doubt as well. So I think Onyeka and Grimes can really make a sort of a statement against City Peck and Arblaster, who's just come back from ACL and not really back on form. They've got Samari, who's not been good all season as well. Again, I presume everyone's going to keep the same lineup?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, same lineup? Yeah. What are the problems that Sheffield United are going to give us? Ben, first of all,
They're very strong on the right-hand side. Very, very strong. They've got Brooks and Sarike. Very good partnership. I've watched them a lot, and they sort of got a nice synergy like Milan and Sakamoto have. Very, very fast players. Burrows scored a good goal today. He's going to get forward. It's going to be a good battle. And I think I agree with Tom. I'd take a draw now. I think that keeps the momentum going. It's good, but again, we could go and win there. We just need to start fast and confident. but we've just got to keep it tight and just play the game in front of us. We've got nothing to fear. It's I'd say it's probably the last free hit of the season for us. They're a very good side, and we've just got to show them the respect, but just impose ourselves on them bravely.
Tom, how would you come out with this game? Would you go out like we did against Borough, organs blazing into that high press and sort of put them on the back foot a little bit? Or would you sort of maybe sit off a little bit, let them have the ball and sort of try and hit them on the counter? What would you do? How would you play it?
I'd go at them. I'd really, really go at them. I would. I feel like if you sit, I mean, the thing is, they cause a lot of pressure, Sheffield United. Going forward, they can be a scary side. For me, I think from minute one, just go at them and just cause them problems. And I know we can with our midfield as well. We've seen it for 2 games. Just go at them and just leave it all on the pitch, as we say. And then you roll into, you try and get a draw. I mean, a win would be phenomenal, but a draw, I take it. Roll into Stoke at home. But also the thing I want to mention as well, which is very positive, is after that game's over, we've got 7 home games and 5 away games left. You know, it's in our hands, basically. You win your home games, you draw away, get the occasional win if you can, and you're in the Premier League, and it's simple as. But no, my approach is just to go at them, because I know we can cause them problems, and I know we can get a result there. So, I mean, you saw Borough do it. Borough were phenomenal against them when they played against them recently, when they went top of the league for, what was it, a week? So, yeah, just go at them, and we'll see on Wednesday.
I think that's a good point Jay makes there, because I suppose you don't want to let the crowd get up, do you, at Bramall Lane?
On a Wednesday
evening. Create a good atmosphere.
Yeah, Wednesday evening under the lights. I think that the thing that sort of scares me is that element of it all. I think Bramall Lane it can be sort of a fiery place, especially if the players get up for it and stuff as well. But again, Ben, I'll sort of touch on yourself in a minute as well, Ben, how you play it. But for me, I'd agree with Tom. I think you should go in there, go on the front foot a little bit. They've got Patrick Bamford, not the fastest player in the world, up front, smart player, but not the fastest. I do agree on the right-hand side. You've got Brooks, worked his arse off every single game. Sariki, also, again, a good, quick right back as well. I think EMC and Jay will sort of deal with them quite well. They've done it most seasons as well. Down the left-hand side, Gus is going to be coming in a little bit more as per normal. But when he comes in a little bit further from that left into the middle, there's a certain Frank Onyeka going to be standing right there in his way. So he'll be able to sort of deal with him. And Harrison Burroughs not been fantastic all season. Obviously scored a goal the other day, but not had a fantastic season. He's only really in the team because Sam McCallum's out. And the big thing for me is their central midfield is literally on their knees. So I think Grimes and Onyeka and Rodoni can really, really do a number on them and sort of control that game. Tats as well, again, we had a quiet game yesterday, but worked for what I would say 90 minutes, but obviously came off. And then Haji, I think the space will be there for Haji. I'm a big fan of Tanganga at the back, so I think that'll be a good little battle there. But they're playing Binden as well, so I think he's a young guy.
Yeah.
You can sort of really, really go at him as well. So I think we should do the same sort of tactics that we did against Borough. So try and press high, try and make mistakes at the back and sort of capitalise on that. Whilst also being a bit sort of conservative at the back as well, obviously with the full backs, with Onyeka and Grimes sort of protecting them as well, almost having sort of 2 different styles of team. Ben, what would you do in that scenario? Would you go with that sort of high press again, or would you sort of be a bit more reserved and sort of try and kill the crowd off for the first 15-20 minutes?
I do a little bit of just in between that. I want a press, but I wouldn't come out like we was at home, like we did against Middlesbrough, and I don't think we will do that. But I think you've got to find that balance, and it's important you don't concede that first goal and potentially go and get it if you can. If the opportunities arises, you've got to go for it. But I do think it'll be very pragmatic on Wednesday, because I think if you ask Frank now what if he'd take a point, he would, because that is a very good. Don't get it twisted. That's a very good point away at Bramall Lane on a Wednesday night.
Very, very much so. Very much so. As I say, again, to bring on to my next sort of point in a minute, but before we go into that, score predictions. What are your score predictions, Ben? What are you going with?
I'm hoping for a 2-1, but I think it'll be 1-1.
1-1. Okay, Tom?
2-2.
2-2. Okay, so 2 draws. I'm going with a 2-1 win myself. I think we'll sort of nick it. I think we'll just outclass them, really. I think they've got a few injury problems, a few suspension problems as well now. And yeah, we'll come away with the win. As I say, I'm stupidly think we're going to win every game. So yeah, if we play Real Madrid tomorrow, I'm sure we'll make a win out.
Beat them at the moment. They're shocking.
Hey, they lost actually. Yes, a fair point. I'd give them a bit of hope there, Tom. Actually, maybe we can go and get the 3 points from them. Okay, but so a couple of things. Again, last sort of point is the running. Tom touched upon it himself there. As I said, if we're still in the top 2 by the end of February, so by the end of this weekend, we definitely will be, because obviously Borough dropped points and will be at least in goal difference. We've got Sheffield United away, and then Stoke at home, who are obviously not in the best of form, but a certain Mr. Robbins is going to be coming back to us. Then after that, we've got Bristol City away, again not in fantastic form. We've got Preston at home, again not in fantastic form. Again, I don't really care about this hoodoo we've got against Preston, not in fantastic form. We've got Southampton at home, who actually are in a decent run at the moment. They got a draw against Charlton, I think, the other day, at the weekend. But again, a team I think we can sort of do a number on at home. Swansea away. Yeah. Derby at home. Hull away. Sheffield Wednesday at home. Blackburn away. Portsmouth at home. Wrexham at home. Watford away. Out of those teams that I mentioned to you, anyone that sort of jumps out that's being, again, obviously anyone could beat anyone in this league, as we all know, but anyone that you're thinking, oh, I'll take a draw now, bar that Sheffield United game.
Maybe Swansea. I mean, I think do they have a good home record? They've got, what's that striker?
Potnick.
I can't say his name, yeah. Top goal scorer. He's a very big goal threat. So for me, I don't know where we're going to be come then, but they're going to be either. I would say they scare me a little bit. I mean, our record in Wales is not great, really, at all. But except for Sheffield United and Swansea, I don't think any of the games particularly scare me. A game that I think will be crucial could be Wrexham at home. I mean, it could be the game to seal promotion for us, but depending where they are as well, it could seal playoffs for them. So that could be a big game. And Wrexham, I think they have quite a decent away record as well. So that could be nervy, come to it. But except for them, Southampton at home, I think we'll do them, but I don't think any other games particularly scare me, let's say.
Ben?
We're Cov, aren't we? Like you could beat Sheffield United and then lose at the weekend. It's just what we do. But I'm hoping that is any team can beat anyone in this league. So I feel like just be confident with your home games, and if you get anything away, it's happy days.
Very much so. The key thing for me, as I said earlier when we talked to Mark, is those teams, the Ipswich, the Boroughs, the Millwalls, the Hulls, they've all got to play each other multiple times. So there's a point that can be dropped there throughout the next 13-odd games, obviously a bit more for Ipswich as well. So that's a big, big thing for us. And then these games, they're all very, very winnable, all very, very winnable. So that gives me a lot of confidence going in. And if we're sort of playing with the sort of the level that we're sort of playing at the moment, and that is the standard that we're sort of keeping to, then I think it's obviously definitely in our hands at the moment, but I think it's in our hands and we're sort of more than capable of sort of coming out with the results that we need in that case as well. So that's pretty much everything on my little list of things to talk about. As per usual, gone over quite a bit on our chats. But anything you guys want to sort of touch upon before we jump off?
No, just thanks to everyone for your support.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and stay positive and keep going.
All I want to say is fair play, Sky Blue Army, for yesterday. You were phenomenal. I mean, I was with it. It was brilliant. And yeah, just keep the faith and let's hope we can do it. It's on our hands. So fingers crossed for 2 wins this week. But yeah, let's see what happens. But play up Sky Blues.
Perfect way to end it. Play up Sky Blues.
Bye,
Cheers, gents.
Right.